The past 2 weeks of Dragon Ball Super have been unbelievably high quality stuff, with episodes 56 and 57 of Super just blowing everybody's minds. Can they continue to make this arc as quality as it's been so far? I guess we're going to find out today with Dragon Ball Super episode 58. This is my review. Zamasu Toburaku Fukamaru Futari no Nazo, which translates to Zamasu and Black, the Two's mystery deepens. And just before I go any further with the review, I just want to say that I do have some spoilers for upcoming episodes of Dragon Ball Super. I broke it on the channel here, and they are legitimate episode spoilers for the next 3 episodes of Super. And I'm going to leave the links to those down below in the description, so when you get done watching my review, definitely stop by there and check out the spoilers if you want them. If you don't want to be spoiled, definitely avoid that and don't click it because it does give away some pretty big information of the next few weeks of Super. So just letting you know that. And also, please be aware that there will not be a Dragon Ball Super next week, which is the weekend of the 17th/18th, depending on where you live. There will not be a Dragon Ball Super next week. It's been preempted for another anime. I'm not really sure which one. I don't remember off the top of my head. But now you know. No Dragon Ball Super next week. But I will be bringing you some very special videos next weekend on the channel. So come back to Geekdom 101. Subscribe if you have not. And check out all the content that I provide for you. Almost daily content here on Geekdom 101. So check it out. So let's get to Dragon Ball Super episode 58. And episode 58 was all about Zamasu. I like how for the first half of this arc, it's all about Trunks and kind of reestablishing him as a big part of the cast, and meeting with the characters that he knew from back in the day. Now we've been seeing episode after episode about Zamasu, and a lot of stuff was speculated on with this episode. There were no actual explanations, just the characters. This was great stuff. The characters in the show, Whis, Bulma, and this episode, were kind of playing the role of the fans of Dragon Ball Super, like you, like me, like, people on Facebook, people on, Reddit, all of us Dragon Ball fans, in trying to piece this together. And that made this episode really good, in that we have characters here pretty much figuring stuff out. And one thing I will say is that, before we go any further, if what Whis said in this episode is true, then I am a great prognosticator. But I'm not the only one, because I know a lot of you said the same thing. So pretty much what the episode starts out with where we left off last week, right? Zamasu and Zuno. Zamasu is at Zuno's place, the man who knows everything, asking questions about the Super Dragon Balls, and Zuno is pretty much telling him the same thing that he told Bulma and Jocko, in the last arc, about how the Super Dragon Balls work. And basically, he goes, that scene where he goes for a chop in the next episode preview, he doesn't really cut his head off or anything crazy like that. He just, it scares him, and Zuno's like, oh, he's intimidated. And Zamasu's pretty much telling him, I want to know about the Super Dragon Balls, threatening Zuno. And if you guys remember, Zuno's rules are you only get one wish. Or, I'm sorry, you only get three questions. You get 3 questions, not wish. 3 questions. But because Zamasu keeps threatening him, Zuno's going to keep answering the question. In fact, there's even a line where Zamasu says, I could wipe you out in an instant if I wanted to. Just tell me about the Super Dragon Ball. So it looks like the explanation behind Zamasu gathering the Super Dragon Balls faster than Champa and Vados did in the last arc is that Zuno, I guess, tells him where they are. I mean, they don't actually say this in the episode, but it doesn't make sense that he was able to get these balls so quickly, which we're going to get to here shortly. So we haven't gotten to that part yet. I want to jump ahead. So Zuno explains that the Super Dragon Balls are actually inactive. They are not active right now because, if you guys remember, Beerus already made a wish with those balls to resurrect the Universe 6 equivalent of Earth. And he tells Zuno tells Zamasu that in a cockroach's lifespan, they're going to come back, aka a year. What I'm having trouble understanding here is what is a year in space? Like, obviously on Earth, we know that 1 year is, when the sun rotates around the Earth rotates around the sun, excuse me. That's a year. So what would be a year in space? I mean, I wouldn't overthink this, guys. It's Dragon Ball logic. Science, don't sit here and try to overthink Dragon Ball. So basically, we find out that, yes, the Super Dragon Balls do have the 1 year rule where you have to wait a year to make another wish. Okay, so remember that, okay? So Zamasu also asked, about the location of the Super Dragon Balls and Goku. So again, yeah, Zamasu, it looks like Zuno tells Zamasu exactly where to find the balls. So that kind of, again, clears up the whole question. Oh, well, how did he get the balls faster than Champa? That's how. So, yeah, pretty much Zuno just gets bullied here, okay, in this first act. So we cut back to Capsule Corp, and Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks wake up after eating some senzu. Little fun fact, little tidbit for you guys in case you did not know this. The word senzu literally translates to sage bean. So if you call them senzu beans, you're actually calling them sage bean beans. It's redundant, like ATM machine, Just a little fun fact I thought you'd enjoy. That's what it stands for. Because sen is like short for senin, which means sage or hermit. So it's like sage beans. Anyways, they eat the senzu. Goku says that he forgot to bring him to the future because he left them in the bathroom, which I thought was a great line. So Goku pretty much tells Bulma, recaps what's going on, that one of the gods is evil in the future and that Black has unlocked Super Saiyajin Rose. Kid Trunks is like, well, wait a minute. How, are all gods immortal? Like Zamasu's immortal? And then Bulma's like, well, no. Even she's talking to the audience here, guys. She's saying, no. Gods in the Dragon Ball world, in this magical Toriyama fictional world, gods are not immortal, right? So Goku says that the only way to beat Zamasu is if they also become immortal by eating a lot of senzu, but they don't have that many, which is kind of dumb because if you guys remember, Yajirobe ate more senzus than anybody. Remember, guys, the original senzus were supposed to take your hunger away, and the whole joke was that Yajirobe ate a whole bunch of them when he first met Karin back on Karin Tower in Dragon Ball. So that's the side effect. I don't think even if you eat like 1,000 senzu beans, I don't think you're going to be immortal, right? That's just Goku being dumb. So then we have this really touching scene where Trunks tells Mai that future Mai did make it. She's alive. And then out of nowhere, Whis shows up like Batman from the sky. Like, hello! He's there with Beerus and Kaioshin, the Universe 7 Kaioshin, the guy from the Buu Saga, and they're eating these giant, ice cream sundae things. Looked very delicious. Like I've said before, guys, anime food looks so much better than real food sometimes. Leave a comment down below if you agree with that. Turns out that Zamasu actually contacted Kaioshin first, asking about the Super Dragon Balls and Goku. So he already asked the Universe 7 Kaioshin about Goku before going to Zuno. This is, of course, very troubling information for our boys. We then cut to Gowasu, who's drinking tea, asking where Zamasu is. Gowasu's calling out for Zamasu, but he's nowhere to be found. Bulma then asks Beerus, how do we beat Zamasu? He's immortal, and Beerus is like, I don't know. He doesn't know. So we have this big monologue from Whis, okay? Now, this is what Whis says and Bulma. And again, I predicted this in a couple videos I did with the Zamasu Black video and in last week's Dragon Ball Super predictions. Whis speculates that Zamasu is, this is what Herms used. Herms phrased it as absolute power to enforce his own sense of justice, okay? So he's looking for absolute power, so he needs the Super Dragon Balls and somebody like Black as a partner to help him achieve his goals. Goku says that Zamasu made Black, which a lot of us already prognosticated, alright? So Whis speculates that Zamasu made Black with the Super Dragon Balls. Now, I know a lot of you guys said that last week in the comments, and again, you are a great prognosticator. So we then see a scene of Zamasu summoning the dragon with the Super Dragon Balls, but it's unclear as to whether or not it's actually happening in the episode or it's just Whis explaining it. I think it's just Whis explaining what his theory is, you know, like a lot of us do here on YouTube. He explains that Black is a copy of Goku created by the Super Dragon Balls. And, you know, all because, and this is what I said before, the time paradox / butterfly effect. When Goku sparred with Zamasu, that made Zamasu's ears perk up when it came to Goku's power. So again, it's a time paradox. Black Goku appears in the future, forcing Trunks to go back to get help from Goku. Goku goes to find answers in Universe 10, meets Zamasu, and thus creating the catalyst for Zamasu to create Goku Black and go and fuck shit up in the future. But here's the beautiful thing about all this, right? Zamasu, you know, the theory that Whis says that this part I didn't think of, that Zamasu actually makes two theories or makes two what do you call it? Two points, okay? Not only does the Whis think that Zamasu uses the balls to make Goku Black, but he then waits a year to use the balls again to become immortal. Okay, again, that's just Whis' theory, right? I didn't think of that, but here's the part that's the killer is Beerus remembers the time ring. Beerus remembers that with a time ring, why would you wait a year if you can just summon the dragon, make your wish, put on the fucking time ring, hop to the future, make another wish? You can have unlimited wishes with this thing, dude. You could have unlimited wishes with this time ring. So, Beerus also explains that Zamasu is still an apprentice, not a full-fledged Kaioshin, so he can't get his hands on not just the time ring, but the Potara, because a lot of you guys pointed out also that the Potara that the future Zamasu and Black are wearing are not the same color as the ones that he had in the present time, because he probably steals those from Gowasu, so it sounds like Gowasu might be in trouble. Bulma says Zamasu might kill Gowasu and steal the time ring, use it to make those wishes, and then go to the future. Again, folks, prognosticating skills are at a maximum right here. Because remember how time travel works in Dragon Ball. When you go back in time, you make a new timeline. But remember, guys, the time rings change everything. Because with the time rings, you can travel in between timelines. Spread this video out to people who don't understand this. You can only go into the future, but you can go into many possible futures, which, again, there are 4 timelines, 4 time rings that Trunks made, you know, and sell and whatnot. So, that's pretty much what happens, that Bulma thinks that Zamasu is going to kill Gowasu, take the time ring, but she doesn't mention the Potara, but, I mean, it makes sense. So, Whis says the only thing about the theory that doesn't make sense is, why do Zamasu and Black still have similar ki if Black is a copy of Goku? I don't know the answer to this. I don't know. What if Zamasu, what if he, cloned himself and then fused with Black? I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm throwing ideas out there. That's the one thing that Whis is unsure of. So again, guys, Whis is playing the role of us, speculating on what's going on. We then cut to the future and we find a Mai Yajirobe scene with Mai saving him on the streets. The Resistance are worried because Trunks is gone and now they have to deal with 2 incredibly powerful enemies. But Mai's like, don't worry, Trunks will be back. Don't even worry about it. So then we go to Goku. We go to Goku, Beerus, Kaioshin, and Whis. They all show up on Universe 10 really quick, looking for Zamasu. And Gowasu's like, bro, he ain't here. And then Goku spills the beans to Gowasu about Zamasu being a prick in Trunks' future. Beerus asks Gowasu about Zamasu's kind of obsession over hating mortals, and Gowasu just kind of recaps that, yeah, he doesn't really like mortals because he doesn't think they belong with the gods, and you know, and then at the end of the episode, Zamasu shows up there with the tea. Goku and the others are shocked. Zamasu has this evil, shit-eating grin, and Gowasu's like, you know, I think Zamasu might change. I think he might be, he's not gonna be a bad guy. And then that's it. And then Zamasu shows up and he's like, I have tea, and that's it. That's where the episode ends. So, Not a lot of action this week, but a lot of talking and the characters kind of. I like this, okay? Because you don't have to have every episode have action. They were talking, they were explaining, what as best they know what may have happened. Again, guys, we don't know for sure if the summoning scenes that we saw were actually happening, if they already happened in a different timeline, like in the future timeline or something, or if they haven't happened yet, and Whis is just like speculating. Like maybe he did make the wish, maybe he didn't. There's a lot of speculation about what's going on, and we're going to find out in the next few weeks. Remember, guys, no Dragon Ball Super next week, but I will have content for you guys. I really want to know what you think about this episode. Again, we can't judge all these episodes individually because it is one big arc, so yeah, this one doesn't have as much action as last week, but it's not supposed to. It's supposed to explain things, and I think that, again, the prognostication from us and from myself and some of you guys were on point. Some of you guys weren't. Still a lot of unanswered questions, but I think we're starting to get a clearer picture about what's going on. If you remember, the time rings can go in between timelines. But we'll see what happens, because the spoilers that came out that I have in the description down there kind of confuse me, all right? So let's not... If you're going to send me a theory like on Twitter or on Facebook, just remember, guys, I get a lot of them, all right? And there's a lot of stuff we don't know yet. Let's just wait and see what happens. Thank you, as always, for supporting Geekdom 101. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. This Dragon Ball Super arc is still looking really, really good, really, really fun. Thank you. I'll talk to you guys down the road.